Hello, everybody, and welcome back to something I didn't think I was gonna do, or rather, I wanted to do something, but it was supposed to be something game related, I think, or something I had made with skill. Because let's be honest, just talking is not a skill. I'm just kidding. I've been watching some YouTubers who just like speak with like perfect grace, and there's never any like dead air or anything like that, and you're just like watching it and be, oh my god, what is this? How are they so good at just talking and just having that flow? And yeah, so if you don't know who I am, I totally understand because I don't know who I am either. Just kidding, but I'm Crown, and this is a show that's been dead, and I said I would never make another one unless I renewed, like, and started from scratch. But I felt like there's no reason to because, I mean, yeah, sure, you get those more views because it says, oh, number one, and everything that's number one of something just like immediately just start off and gets a little bit better views. And I don't know why I'm moving so much with my hands, but if you're actually watching it instead of just listening, then sure, have the jazz hands or whatever I can call it. And I've noticed I'm much better at speaking already than I felt like I ever was before. So maybe I finally can be good at this. Who knows? Maybe I can become the spokesperson of the mighty crown that I always wanted to be and just roll with it. So, for the foreseeable future of this episode, I'm gonna just probably just like update you on what the hell, where have I been, why haven't I done anything, and where was that like promo podcast and it's just like never happened. Well, because honestly, at that point, I was gonna do it with Smart Guy, my friend, and when I went back to Sweden, I recorded the first episode with Smart Guy, but when I went to Sweden and I was gonna edit it and stuff, but I never got around to it. And then when I came back to Canada, because I'm a Swedish person who lives in Vancouver, Canada, and when I edited it, there was a lot of stuff that was like interesting at the time. It was not interesting, like half of the stuff was not interesting anymore, in my opinion. And I had to like, because I was also gonna edit the part where I was gonna put the end part to the beginning, because it's sort of like we confused the like momentum of the show, and it was like all out of place, and it would be not too much work, but it would just be annoying work. Plus, I love just like starting, doing the entire thing, and not really have to edit much. Unless there's like broken parts where Skype or whatever it was most of the time fucks up, which Skype, like, that's hopefully dead and buried for the most of the time, because Discord is the new overlord, and since they've implemented now you can actually like screen share almost, I think, and like do basically everything that Skype does but better, because the audio is just so much cleaner. It's so good. Like if you ever done stuff with Skype, it picks up like everything and it never like disappears. So if you have like Smart Guy, my friend, had like very loud fan. So some of the times you like if you were like not talking for some of the time, it would just like suddenly just and everyone would be like, "Oh, smack your microphone!" And those were the good of times, and today's times are, I don't know, just not a lot of talking times, because he is away doing working and studying and actually gonna become something, and I'm just working sometimes and then just watching YouTube streamers, that kind of shit from time to time. So that's what I've been up to when I'm not going to hockey games. I usually go to watching the Vancouver Canucks because I like sports, and yes, sure, like soccer slash football, wherever you're from, that I love to watch it, but the Major League Soccer is not fun. It's not. It's so weird. It's basically you have high talent with players that should play like Division 4 in England or something like that. It's like the disparity in quality. Like, it's gotten better, that's for certain, but I'm just gonna hang on to the fact, or hang on. I'm just gonna wait until it maybe one day becomes a broader, or like the disparity is way less. I'm already fucking up on the speaking. That's what I said. Like, I've been watching all these people who just flows with it and just perfectly, just like lay it front and just smack it in there. Yes. I mean, you can just like imagine yourself what I actually said there. Totally. So, what else have I been up to? So, I guess not much. If you remember back, I used to work in a coffee shop. If any of you actually remember any of my old shit, and I still do. I still at the same coffee shop for 2.5 years, and it's all right. Some days it can be fun, and then some days you end up like winter time when it's like we usually have, it's a tourist kind of area, so when not a lot of people come here to stay in the hotels and stuff, and generally the people that comes from outside of Vancouver, because they're middle of downtown Vancouver, when they're not like staying in those areas and not really come in, then it's just not a lot of people. Like, comparing summertime Vancouver, how many people there are usually walking around, to wintertime, it's like half the city just emptied out. And it's always such a strange feeling when I feel like this, like, it being like more like easy to get around is nice. But yeah, compared to summertime when there's so many more people just walking around. And I realized I should have structured this podcast way better, because I've done 0 to 100 already in this like one area, and then ended up in another one, and then suddenly tracking on to another one, and it makes no sense whatsoever. And really, you should have be like, oh, I'm gonna speak about this topic and then go to this topic and that topic. But anyway, back to the working part. So yeah, so I still work at the coffee shop because way my visa situation is, I can only like, they sponsored me, so I can only work for them, which is like really nice of the owner and stuff, that he's done it 2 times already. Yeah. And but the problem is it's high rent and not a lot of pay. So the problem is doing stuff you want to keep like yourself entertained by. Like I said, going to hockey games, movies. I went to a concert not too long ago as well. I want to do all these kinds of things, because just being at home all the time or just walking around not doing much It's not that fun. And this is even me who not really go out at all. I can't even understand how you would survive also like going out most of the time, going like a lot of pubs or nightclubs and that sort of stuff. I don't even know how they like do it financially because if I were to do that more, I don't think I would have a lot of money left, even less than I already have. And yeah, to be fair, I used to like not pay this much rent, so like paying $150 more like I do now is, yeah, sure, I could have used that 150 to go out and partying and that sort of stuff. Even though I never really was a person for parties. That's just the truth. And also, it's more fun to do it with friends. And what I used to be around a lot of people who were like here for internships or just here for a year. So I went to like through so many like people and friends and that sort of stuff, and eventually, at least for me, I just got so tired of this like meeting new people again and again and again, and because like you always have to be like, oh, say goodbye to these people, and then now there's new people to say hi to, and then you just repeat it over and over again, and it taxes you. At least for me, it does, because I'm more an introvert person, so I'm not really type of person who goes out all the time, wants to meet lots of new people, and that's. But then again, it ended up being too much on the other way around, so I ended up with not having a lot of friends that actually stay here. So then I mostly still had my friends online, like Smart Ivida, Anthony, Caesar, Dan, Nate, I would say, but Nate is busy with his life most of the time. And a lot of these people now are busy with their life all the time. And I'm basically busy none of the time. That's the truth. Like I start work 5:30 a.m. in the morning and then work to around 1 o'clock, and then that's it. What do I do the rest of the day? And it always ends up being, yeah, I watch this, I watch that, and then get food, whatever, and well, rinse and repeat, basically. And right now I'm like having 1 day off and then work a few days and 1 day off and then work a few days, and that's how it rolls right now because how everything is set up with the people working. So I can't have 2 days in a row. So I could probably just say to have 2 days in a row and demand it, but honestly, do I really care right now? Do I have a reason to? No. Sad as it is, no. I wish, though, more to find more people around here, so that's why I'm looking to go to the Twitch Vancouver meetup, and hopefully I can meet some people that's from here, from Vancouver, like gaming people or whatever, and then, and then maybe I start streaming or make more YouTube videos, because that's a thing. No, but really, the reason why I'm starting this up is because coming in December, I will have the place for myself for a month. So even though my roommate, he's out and about a lot of time, and I don't think it would matter too much either way, because like talking with someone, do that all the time on the internet, so wouldn't make much difference. But just to like record a lot or that sort of thing, I feel like to get it starting again, at least if I'm gonna stream, I don't want to ruin his time, or like, because we don't have amazing internet, so like sharing that sort of thing and with upload and that sort of stuff. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna set out for, to hopefully start doing more stuff like that. And also, I have ideas for videos. Are they likely gonna happen at this point? Probably not, because I was gonna do something with the help of what is it? No, Shadow of Mordor was the last one. War of Mordor or whatever it's called. I was gonna, with the help of that game, I was gonna use something in it to make really cool videos. But up until I can get to this point, I really have to like finish the game or get way longer into the game. And I don't know, I have stopped playing it. It has the same problems as the first one. I thought that that game would be more interesting now that you like do assaults, so like big battles and that sort of stuff. Basically, it's not that much more added to it, in my opinion. It's like those battles, yeah, they're a little bit more, but not much. And then it's always end up being the same problems I have. It's just like why they made executions so just annoying, because you have to build up a meter to do an execution, and then you just stand there slashing so many stuff for so much time. Yeah, you have abilities and stuff, but some stuff just take unnecessarily long time to kill, and I don't get it. Like, I hate it. I hate the fact that for like executions and that sort of stuff takes so long to do, when some of this stuff should be way easier to kill. But that's the thing that they make it hard on the game. They make it like tying up all these executions behind abilities instead of you just mashing and attacking a guy for doing like 10 million slashes and he's still not dead, and you're just like, yeah, okay. And well, you also do the same thing to you, so like everyone just have like infinitely amount of health and that sort of shit, and it just gets so annoying all the time. And yeah, that's basically what I think about that game. I just can't continue with it. I have had such an issue with so many games, and I don't know. Gaming in general these days, I do it way less. I don't play a lot of games anymore, and if I do, like for right now, I have been playing NHL 17 again. I should maybe go and get or like buy NHL 18, but I'm just continue along and like this be a pro, like my player, that kind of stuff, and just like play a few games of that and then move on. And that's basically all I do. And the amount of words I've been repeating in this podcast episode is insane at this point. But that's just me trying to be as good as all these people that use all these fancy good words, or just spectacularly good at speaking, and I'm clearly not that level yet. And sure, it's easier if you're with another person, but just you have to understand. Also, it's probably my first episode in, what is it, 1 year and a half until I did something last time, so it's kind of maybe understandable that I don't have the speaking skills. I'm way more fluent of this language though, so there's always that. But still, you couldn't probably tell that I have some sort of accent still, I think, but it's way better, and I could make a way better flow than I used to. So, back to games and stuff I was gonna talk about. So yeah, so like Persona, I still haven't beaten it. Persona 5. I played halfway through and then I don't remember why I got distracted by something else, and even though I know that I was watching a Twitch streamer play it, so I've already watched the whole thing, so I know exactly what's gonna happen. Even then, it's a really good game, but I don't know. I just can't seem to beat games anymore. I can't seem to get hooked. Like, I could have just like stopped watching that streamer, but I had more fun doing that than playing an actual game, and it's the sad truth. And I don't know why. It's last game I beat. Oh yeah, I actually beat South Park. That's actually a game I bought and I finished because it's not too long. It's relatively easy, and that's also a game that just showed me even more that why I don't really play a lot of games anymore, because I like the first one story, and it was really fun, and you got to go do so many different parts of it, while I feel like this one was so much more narrow, if you get what I'm saying. Like it's the other ones you did, like, yeah, you played Dungeons and Dragons style live with like wizards and that sort of stuff, but in the rest of the world it was so much more different stuff happening to the city, and it wasn't the focal point. That wasn't the only thing that was happening. It wasn't taking over the entire town. While this one, basically, the game they're playing took over the entire town, and it was so. I didn't like it. I didn't like the story, and I feel like for that game, the story is the most important part, in my opinion. And yeah, the gameplay was way better than the first one, but wasn't like immensely better that it's made this like the story being more okay for it. So that's how I generally felt about South Park, and yeah, I that's just one of the games that I got, and I was thinking, what else games should I get now that there's so many things coming out, and there's Broketober and whatever, and I just end up I'm currently not buying anything because like there's no game out right now, in my opinion, that's worth getting for me. Probably the only one is Mario Odyssey, but I'm not gonna get a Switch. I can't afford a Switch right now. So that is no, that's not gonna happen. And so just end up playing an old Island Shell game, maybe playing the Madden sometimes, but it's not. I'm not really Madden through and through. I got the new FIFA, and I played the story mode for that. And oh yeah, I can talk about both the story modes for the FIFA one and for the Madden one, because I think that's something maybe interesting for any of you watching. Hopefully, please say it's interesting. Even though most of you don't really care about sports, I think, that listens. So that's just not gonna maybe. But anyway. So it was the Madden one that came out. So I played that, like the long shot one, and I felt like the gameplay for it is not good, but the story was good, although short. I'm gonna say that. So unless you're getting it for like playing lots of the other stuff, it's definitely not worth playing just for the story. Oh no, unless you get it for like $20 several months from now, and you have to buy it in a store because they never like give you these games for cheap on the like EA would never like do the sports game low, never. Unless the new one comes out, then the other older one be like, oh yeah, you can buy this for $30, and you'd be like, this should be like 15. But that's just EA, and especially sports games. Uh, yeah, so the long shot, like there was really, the story was gripping, but as I said, it was felt really short, and how well you did to get like drafted and sort of thing, I don't think it was like I didn't do that many mistakes, and so I'm guessing that however you played is way more important than most of like the questions and stuff. Sure, like you can do if you just check the like make sure you do the questions all right, and that then it shouldn't be a problem. And I was actually watching a lot of like another like a YouTuber play it beforehand, and I was like, oh, and then I didn't realize like I thought he was just showing he had gotten it early, so I just thought he was showing it, and then when I finished it myself, I was like, oh shit, it stops the same part he stopped, so that's why I was yeah. So just like it's just you up until like the draft, and then it ends. It's just a lot of cutscenes and picking answers, and then the gameplay itself is sometimes you get to actually like play, and sometimes it's QT. So yeah, Madden is not very good for this kind of thing compared to the FIFA one, which is, in my opinion, it's not long, but you get so much more out of it. It's probably double the length or like triple the length of the Madden long shot one. And yeah, it's you have the cutscenes as well, and some of it. Oh yeah, comparatively, like long shot, you like it's very like you immersive. That's what I'm looking for. It's immersive compared to the to the FIFA one, the Journey one, which has so much shit that just gets you like unimmersed. Because if you played the first one, so FIFA 17, if you play that one through the whole thing, like some of the shit in that one doesn't really make that much sense. It's like unrealistic, but it's okay with it. And then if you import your character, there's so much stuff that like just like disappears. Like sure they will mention what you've done, but then for instance, my guy in first season, he won the FA Cup and the league, which makes the team go to the Champions Cup, or in this game it's not Champions League. And so my team should have gone to the Champions Cup. That ain't happening. That's like that just disappeared. Like they mentioned that you won the league, and like in one interview they will mention, oh yeah, you won the cup and league and that sort of stuff. But that apart from that, like it's just eradicated from existence. Like that shit never happened. And then you make up this story about yeah. So then you go to 10 million teams over one season, and like it's just there's so many parts where it makes no sense, and they're just doing it for like making a story out of it. It could have done so much better and make so much more sense. And yeah, it's I liked it, but it's just so much stuff that just wouldn't happen in real life. It's like you're playing a really long, like even like even TV series has more realistic stuff than this some of the time. Like one of the strikers in our team just up and just shoof, it was never there. Like the first story was like one of the players they recruited was like this big shot player, and he's just like magically back to his other club, and you just go like, what? You couldn't have like explained it better, or he was out on loan, which still this big signing would not make any sense at all. But like have some sort of signing. And also, like, think about it. I played in a team that usually ends up, I would say, like middle of the table, a little bit, like higher up, maybe reach Europe sometimes. And for them winning the league, especially when you are the player that's one of the big reasons too. So then for you to like say, oh, I want to get transferred if this deal happens, because the team that's like at this point you think is looking for is one of the best teams in the world, and when that falls through, the team says, oh, fuck you. You can whatever you like. You like the coach is not gonna play you even more, and it's like let's say like what like a big player like Messi or Ronaldo or something like that would want to leave, and yeah, this deal doesn't happen, and then you're gonna be like, yeah, the next 6 months until the next transfer window open, we're not gonna play you, even though you might be like the best player in the world, because we want to lose, and that wouldn't happen at all. And also, all the players in the team was like, "Oh yeah, we hate you for like, and don't like you anymore," because if one of the best teams in the world came for you when you're like 18 years old, why the fuck would you? Why nobody would be like, "Oh yeah, we hate you now because you want to go to one of the best teams in the world." That shit doesn't happen. Fuck that. I had to get this off my chest because it's been bugging me for a long time. And oh shit, bugging me for a long time. Do I even remember the game Mass Effect Andromeda? That is a game that the bugs in that game. Holy shit. The bugs in that game is some of the most annoying things I've ever encountered when playing. And I have pictures on my Twitter if anyone wants to see. Like, just like go on my page and search. Like, I straight up fell through the world. Like guy I was supposed to kill, or I needed to kill for the to be done with the mission. He was stuck in a fucking like this sort of energy tank or whatever. He's smashed into it, and also like the same part when I finished it, there was like three like that came like to kill me and stuff, and they just like suddenly out of nowhere decided, oh yeah, we're just gonna run this way out of nowhere, like out of into the nothingness, and just like the three of them just like started running. I tried to follow after them, and they were just like, you could shoot them, but they would do zero to them. They were suddenly invincible, and you're like, okay. And because of this, they didn't spawn the thing I was supposed to find. So then I'm like, what the fuck do I do? And I don't know. So you just like left. And then another time, there was this desert, and you're following this this water supply thing, and you encounter this like this tent, half tent, and there's supposed to be like I think 2 or 3 people there. There were no people there. They were up and missing, and I was like, what do I do? So I had to teleport back to the city, and then teleport back again, and then woohoo! They were there suddenly, and you're like, this game. Also, the final battle thing, you're like getting hyped, you're like following this explosions everywhere inside this shit thing that you're in, and you're following this, and you enter into another big piece where the main area of this big dome thing is, and this guy is ascending or something, and you're trying to kill him. Oh no! Someone is connected to something. I don't know. It should spoil or whatever. Yeah, something is connected to something, and this thing, big bad guy, is trying to become the next god thing, and you're just killing waves and waves, and then whoops, you're done. And I'm like, where's the boss battle? I'm like, what? That was it? We're done? And he's like, insta-fried. I'm like, okay. We won, apparently. And it was so fucking anticlimactic. The game itself was like problematic, but that even made it worse. I remember because I was so like, huh? Like, yeah, South Park's ending was like also mad, but the Andromeda one was just okay. Are you saving up stuff? I was loading up on like the rocket launcher things and like just preparing so much stuff. Okay, I need to be ready. And then fight the bad guy, and then he just vaporizes. Woof! Like magic. And then woo, and everyone's just partying hard. And then you do a last thing about making a choice who should be running some sort of operations after everything, and you don't get to know anything at all anymore because the future of that is just dead. Instead of just like, oh yeah, might come back to this, or at least make a fucking DLC that just ends it all. But no, we just this studio, first game, big game, and they're dead, and this franchise is dead, and then BioWare soon might be what the fuck dead. If Anthem is not good enough, I don't know how BioWare survives, honestly, or at least some of their studios, because they definitely will have fewer studios or just one main one after that. But I mean, all the great people who used to be there, who used to make the earlier Mass Effect and earlier Dragon Age Origins and that sort of stuff, they have pieced out, and one of them is making Bear, I think, and other one something where otherwhere, and then just like a lot of other people been replaced after that, and instead we have all this great like main character has to always talk thing. Yay! It has never resulted in like, oh yeah, Mass Effect it resulted in a good game, and like the Mass Effect 2 as well, and then Mass Effect 3 goodish most of the time. And like, I like thought the ending was just meh, but like in general, that's like franchise is the only franchise that has done it well when it comes to having the main person being able to talk, because you have 4 options, and they were like okay, or like maybe you could have had more options for the Mass Effect. I don't remember, but all other games so many times nowadays, oh, you can choose all these 4 options, but they all lead to the same place. You have an illusion of choice. What do you want to say? I want to be the non-emotional guy, and just keep on doing that. Yeah, apparently Mass Effect Andromeda changed some ways if you with how you did everything, and I don't really know how. I couldn't tell you. Maybe it did, but I don't really care because the options you had made no fucking sense whatsoever. Either you were like emotionally stunted or like a professional, or you had like comedic or whatever, fuck it. Like all emotional or who fuck cares? That is dead game. It's probably gonna be erased from existence because it's gonna be hilarious to see. I mean, it doesn't matter because it's like way, way, way into the future. So they can just be like, here comes the next Mass Effect 4 game. Oh yeah, they went and did another way. It wasn't a different timeline, an alternate reality when this happened. So this is a storyline where it's like where it didn't happen, and everyone say like, "Yay! Mass Effect Andromeda never happened. Woo!" That's how the future's gonna be for. I mean, if it ever happens, I don't know. I don't want another Dragon Age game. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I did talk about the last Dragon Age. I think I did, but anyway, that game. There's no matter. You like having options to speak. Like it matters zero, unless you got to the point where like you can choose this, which will have this impact, or you can choose that has this impact. That was the only choices you have. The rest is just no. Doesn't matter. You can be a dick to whoever you want. You can be nice to whoever you want. Everything always ends up at the same point because you can be dick to everyone. I tried so hard not to be the one that's trying to make all the decisions. Doesn't matter. Everyone's in the beginning of that game is gonna be, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And suddenly, oh yeah, we really want you to be the leader. I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to be the leader. Why are you just pegging me as the leader? Yeah, sure, I have the glowing green hand thing, but why does that matter? Like, oh yeah, I can close rifts. That immediately makes me the perfect person to lead, even though everyone hates me, really. I shouldn't even be the leader. You should have someone like of experience being the leader, but no. You're just a natural leader. Everyone's just pointing at you. You're the natural leader, and you're just like, okay, sure. If everything fucks up, it's all on you guys. It's not me. It's you. It's basically how that rolls. Yeah, sure, you can be a powerful son of a bitch, but does that make you a leader? You can like screw everyone over and they still be like, yay, we love you still. Except your party members. The party members, they will still fuck off and be like, yeah, you're a dick. We don't like you. But the rest of the people will be like, woo, we love you. And I think before I start rounding up this podcast, I want to talk about, I watched 2 movies not too long ago. I watched the Thor movie, for Ragnarok, and what did I think about it? I honestly feel like it's for comedy's sake, it's the best one of all of Marvel stuff because it's hilarious and it's way better than Guardians of Galaxies. Like miles better than the second one, but I think it's like just above the first Guardians of Galaxies because the first Guardians of Galaxies, yeah, it had good like comedic moments, but it didn't have like the plot itself was, I mean, yeah, for maybe not that much better in terms of plot, but it was all like they went like everywhere and that sort of stuff, and with I best to describe this, the humor in it wasn't as good. it was good, but I thought 4 was awesome in terms of comedy. Like all the play against each other, how everyone play off each other, was the better. Like the chemistry, I think, is what nails it. The chemistry, like everyone's was good comedy wise in Guardians, but I don't feel like all of them have the chemistry that build up with like the Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, and Tom Hiddleston, and all these people seem to have like gotten really great chemistry with each other and really great playing off each other, and even which makes it better when you have moments where it's not comedic and everyone acting together, all of them, it feels genuine, it feels real, and that's a thing I feel like I can best describe this movie. So I fucking loved it. I already, you can get like a super ticket, so you got extra points too, and I already get the digital version, so I went and got that immediately. So I'm already, because I've got more points, I get to go to free movies. So I haven't decided what I should go to. I still haven't gone to see The Foreigner with Jackie Chan, and I need to go and see that. So maybe I take that opportunity. I don't know if they're still gonna air it in the cinema that's just like right next to where I live or not. But yeah, so I love it. I highly recommend it for anyone who like to see it. It's one of the best Marvel movies they have done overall as well. I would rank it second on my list. Captain America Winter Soldier is still my favorite one, and I stand by that one wholeheartedly. Just the way that everything went in that one. It was not about having 10 times of like all these different heroes and that sort of stuff. It was just a good like conspiracy action movie kind of thing, and I will always have that. For the time being, I have a hard time seeing something beating it out, but that's my favorite Marvel. And then now 4 is the number 2, and I don't know which one is number 3. I'm gonna be honest, the rest is just all scramble together. But yeah, some people have the Avengers movies, but I honestly, the first Avengers movie I felt was meh. So I'm one of the person that feel like that was not really a good movie. Take out the superheroes and it's a terrible movie. Just gonna be honest. Like remove all the superheroes, like nobody. But for people that really love superheroes and comics and all these characters, seeing them all together at that, yeah, I can understand you liking that. But for me, not being born with a lot of comic book stuff, just got into it thanks to the movies, was not meh. And the second movie was the Pokemon I Choose You, which is a movie that takes the nostalgia factor and it's taking from the first anime season, it takes that and the beginning of it and they wanted to make a movie out of it. And what did I think of it? I honestly feel like it's really hard. Like, think about it. Try taking first season of something that has like 50 episodes, and then you have to pick and choose, and also try and find a reasonable story for it that would engage people. And you don't take anything with Team Rocket and Giovanni and that sort of stuff. I honestly, yeah, sure, you had that with the first Pokemon Ever movie, but if you don't have like the story and like where the point is your like the movie is your like Ash is the rainbow hero and he's gonna go to and like because Ho selects rainbow hairs. And yeah, it sounds like if they actually had a better point to it, it would have been cooler. But also, Ash catch less Pokemon than the first anime season, which people hated. So think about that and take that and put it in the movie. And some like it was good for nostalgia reasons. Would kids love yeah, it's a kids movie, so you're like, oh, it's directed kids. I would say kids would even like it less because they don't have the nostalgia memories. So fuck all I know. Like, go and watch the first season of anime season instead. Sure, Ash is less dumb, way less dumb than he was in that one. But does that make up for the fact that he decides to catch even less Pokemon? Or like having way less iconic stuff? It should. The movie focused, in my opinion, on the wrong things and should have had like a better objective for how they wanted to. Like, and Team Rocket, who is in it, is they're like, why they're even in it, I don't understand. They just put in Team Rocket for no apparent reason because Team Rocket. It's the same with the anime itself. It hinders creativity. It hinders creativity having them in it. I mean, they're even way more pointless in this one than. And they're smarter, but they're also somehow worse. I didn't think that was possible, but yeah. So, would I recommend watching it? Watch it on Netflix or something when it comes out on that, because it's not worth spending money on it. I wish I just wanted to watch the anime again after watching it, because that's way better. So I think I'm all about wrapped up here. I was thinking I would go nowhere after like talking 15 minutes, and I was like, I should at least try and get like 30 minutes in. And now I have talked for 52 minutes, and wow. Somehow crammed in a lot of it, and the first part of it, maybe I should have like edited or made it take away some of it, because I feel like the ranting part and the end of it, this podcast went way better than the beginning of it, because I was everywhere and nowhere, and instead, as I said, I should have had a topic. I should like prepare myself, but god damn it, if it isn't one of my podcasts where nothing makes sense or everything makes sense. What can you do? Oh yeah, I for anyone who wonders, I have Rice Spirit, who's one of the best people when it comes to like, I have the Yodo shirt on, and I'm pretty hyped for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I got Ultra Sun, so it should be. It's 7 days, I think 7 or 6 days until it comes out. So I'm pretty stoked for it because they say it's gonna be double the length of the Pokemon Sun and Moon, the original one, which I really love because it was way too short and way too heavy on cutscenes, but they say there's still a lot of cutscenes. But since it's double the size, I can forgive it, because then I've replayed Pokemon Moon like 3 times, and it goes. You can do it so fast, and also it's just challenge some of the time, but not always. Unless you like, that's why you have to ignore doing the Pokemon and me stuff, because having them love you, it ends up them like, oh yeah, you got a crit because of it, you survived because of it, like all this bonus shit. And apparently now the Rotom Dex is gonna give you all like, oh yeah, you can choose to give you an extra C move, and like, I'm not gonna do that. It's already too easy, so I usually like turn off the experience share from time to time. I like having the fact that everyone gets experience, but not all the time because you end up being too over leveled. But they have it way better, especially better than X and Y, which it would be really great if they just up the levels for the Pokemon. That would be a fun game, in my opinion, if they just up the levels, because just like you have to put the experience insurer on like for a little bit and then turn it off and then do like that for a little bit and then turn it off, because otherwise you're gonna be like, if you have it on for the entire game, you, in my opinion, you end up having like 5 or 10 levels above the Elite Four and the Champion, which is how they even thought that was a good idea. I don't know why they yeah, even for a kid that would be too easy, in my opinion. But there's that. So I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I'm extremely exhausted right now and hungry and don't know why I started doing this. Normally I was, because I opened the Mountain Dew and I was gonna drink it, and I got preoccupied with the stream or whatever, and then I finished it, and then I started the podcast afterwards, and then you don't like, I don't have any water in here for some reason, because I keep forgetting to have it in this room, so it's just everything or nothing. So my mouth is extremely hungry and everything, so yes. So I hope you enjoyed this wonderful podcast, and I think honestly, if it wasn't for the weird beginning, I feel like it's one of the best I've done solo version, because I didn't have too much dead air as I normally I think I used to have, so this was fantastically well done for me. I'm really surprised, and hopefully I don't lose my voice because of it. But so you can find me on Twitter at Story of Crown, Instagram Story of Crown, and Twitch. I'm currently King Sunflora, and hopefully I will start linking streams on everywhere when I finally start doing it in December. So keep a look on that, and yeah, if you have anything, comments, any like mentions of any of the things I talked about, and you want to know more about any particular matter in the future, this one I did really well when I start doing like topics like the games I've talked about and the like movies, and I did that really well. So I promise I will actually have, like, when I started doing podcasts, I actually had a notepad. This should I talk about? This should I talk about? But then I just became lazy and never did that. And you realize how good that thing is. So I'm gonna do that in the future, and hopefully you can like that, or like that. Hopefully you enjoy that. So yeah, if you've been this long, please comment deadass in the comment section, and also like it for that maybe 10 people will watch it because of it, so that would be good. So thank you all for watching and listening. It's been your amazing host, Crown, and I love you all, you 10 people who watched this episode, because yeah, I don't know why you decided to watch this train wreck of a beginning. So if you stuck through the beginning to the actual good part, thanks to you. I'm gonna be rich because of it, even though I don't put ads on those videos. Bye.